Feminine versus masculine energy. What does it all mean? Hey guys, it's John here on the back deck enjoying a beautiful mug of coffee. Hello, Marcy. I wanted to hop on and make this video. Feminine versus masculine energy. People asking me about this all the time because I actually mentioned those terms in my first regression. Time for the feminine, time for the masculine. For me personally, it has a very different idea than a lot of people have ideas about this. You know, this concept of divine masculine or divine feminine. Those are very much New Age concepts that I don't really jive into very strongly at all. But and the reason I don't jive into them is because I think it's just another level of division. As soon as you bring in words like masculine and feminine, you're literally creating a division between man and women. And I think that all people are equal. And I think that when you double down and add the word divine to masculine or divine to feminine, you're actually creating a larger schism, because now people are going to step into their camp and they're going to start arguing their points. And I have seen this over and over and over again on both sides of this. For me, in that regression, I didn't talk about gender. I did talk about the masculine and the feminine, but in my concept at the time, you have to understand that even in a regression, you're still coming through the vocabulary that you are familiar with. For me, in the time, masculine and feminine very much did not mean male or female. It meant in the head or in the heart. And I've talked about this before. It talks about this concept of the story of Adam and Eve. And, you know, they ate from the tree of knowledge. They got kicked out of paradise. The tree of knowledge is the thinking mind. It's constantly trying to figure things out. Well, that's a very physical attribute. Here in the physical world, we have to figure things out, right? At least we think we do. And when we shift out of the concept of needing to figure things out and step into the feeling heart of creation, what happens is you start to create differently, and the world gets to change. I think for a couple thousands of years now, we've been very much in the head trying to figure out things. And what you're seeing now with a lot of, especially religion, you're seeing people stripping their religions away, and what they're doing is they're taking away the parts that don't work for them. I had someone just yesterday send me a message on my other channel saying she's really shocked that people have been so damaged by religion, because she was a recent convert and she found nothing but beautiful things in her Catholic faith. And I told her, I said, I respect that. I said, but you have to realize that the very doctrines themselves are designed to make you a sinner, and that you are kind of like in that faith until you die, or you're not going to go to heaven in the doctrines and dogmas of that religion. I said, so a lot of people have been made to feel unworthy. I said, you being a new convert, you don't have a lot of the childhood traumas of hell and damnation that has been thrust upon these people who are now struggling with their faith. But as far as masculine and feminine is concerned, all of those doctrines, all of those dogmas of all the religions are the thinking masculine brain. And once I'm saying masculine, I'm not saying male. I'm saying the thinking brain, the physical world. I got to figure this out. I'm the hunter or the gatherer. I'm going to do all this, right? It comes down to, I have to fix this. When you look at the concept of getting into your heart as opposed to your head, you find very quickly that you understand more about who you are and what you like when you delve into your feelings, instead of processing through external reaction. And when you're processing through internal reaction, you're automatically dropped into, how do I fix this? How do I resolve this? You look at the world you're living in as problems to solve rather than beautiful things to create. And there's a real difference in what I just said. Problems to solve, your brow furrows and your head lowers, and you're like, I have to solve this problem. And then in feminine, you're like, beautiful, I'm creating a beautiful world. And it's time for us to get out of our heads, back into our hearts, start loving one another. And it really kind of bothers me when I hear people go down these roads of divine masculine or divine feminine, because what usually they're doing is they're just trying to validate their own gender. They're trying to validate their own ideology of who they are. And they're just beautiful people. They're just beautiful people who don't understand. It's not about divine masculine. It's not about divine feminine. It's about humanity. It's about love. It's about being in this expression of our equality, and we're all part of God. In my personal belief, we are all part of God. We're all one with God. And in our oneness with God, there is no division of male or female. There is no division of masculine or feminine in that regard. As I said, the reason I use masculine and feminine in my regression is because I had a concept of masculine and feminine that meant something very different than male and female. But it, in many ways, I wish I had never said that in my regression. I wish I would have said in your head and out of your heart, because now it's been one of the contentions of my regression is this idea that there is sort of a gender infused into our way of doing things. It's more of an energetic thing than a gender thing. To be in your head, like I said, brings you down because you have to fix things. To be in your heart is to look at the world more beautifully and create. When I hear people talk about the divine feminine or the divine masculine, it's an interesting thing to me, because the second they say divine anything, I feel the division. I feel the feeling of, why aren't we just the divine humans? Why aren't we just who we are in this general cause? And I had an experience a long time ago with my third wife and her group of friends, where they were very much man bashers, and they really felt that all men were dumb and ridiculous, and but instead of accepting people for who they were in general, they took this broad generalization of all men are stupid, all men are dumb, and that marriage was doomed to fail, because when it came to many friends, all of her female friends, I was the person that they talked about, right? And it wasn't because of me; it was because of that I was one of those men that they were all bashing, and I find it interesting that we all want a peaceful, loving world. We all want to coexist beautifully. But the second you draw lines is you've now created something to argue over. And, I believe that love in any form is never wrong. Male, female, straight, bi, polyamory, whatever it is. If it's love, all for it. Because it's the feeling of love. It's the feminine feeling of love. Using the word feminine again, right? It's when we go into life with looking for power or conquest or things of those natures. That's a very dominant, in your head kind of game. And what we're coming to now in this world, and you see it very clearly everywhere, people are absolutely shifting into a more heart-centered life. You see people who, I want to move out into a homestead and live into this beautiful experience out, back with nature and touching the world. And they're using very feeling language. And then you hear the other people who are like, well, I need to go make $1 million and I need to make sure that my cryptocurrency is blah, 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 blah. That's a very very conquest, very power-driven energy. When you look at it from that perspective, you find that it's not about the male or the female, because I've met females on both sides of that concept as well. And some of them are very much power hungry and questing, and the other one are very much, wanting to live into a beautiful world and create something more beautiful. So masculine and feminine energies, it's more in your head and out of your heart energies. In your head energy, out of your heart energy. It's reaction and action energy. Reaction and action energy. And so don't think about it as something that is male or female in any way, shape, or form, because it really comes down to we're all one. So there is no gender in God. That's one of the most beautiful things about Islam. The reason they call God Allah is because it has no gender. And so to me, I look at that, that's a beautiful statement. There's no judgment of male or female based upon the ideology of gender. And so that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.